Hey, you're here with Chico. It's Friday, June 27th, and we're just wrapping up the week. So the markets are up, the S&P, Dow, and Nasdaq. Throughout this week, there was a pretty nice rally, I would say. Every day, markets would go up incrementally. And today's news is the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, the PCE, is came in, and it was a little bit hotter than expected. But it seems like the market doesn't really care. It rose 2.7 versus the expected 2.6 year over year, and month over month was for core prices was 0.2% increase from the prior month versus what they were expecting 0.1. And then there was some news about the tariffs with China, how they come to some truce, and they're settled on tariffs. Tariffs. This is here. U.S. tariffs. Numbers. U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports will start at 30%. This is according to the Treasury. Scott Bessonette said on Friday, and China tariffs will be 10%. And then I guess they more details will come. I suppose we shall wait for that. The market may be cheering that on. Interestingly, Nike is released their earnings, and we're not doing call options on Nike, but their stock is up because the sales and profits are dropping slower than what they were predicting, and they also announced that they had to take a hit on the tariffs. Well, that's no surprise, but the stock is up here, up about 15% right now. Yes. Here you can see on the chart. And interestingly, there's this graph about Nike foot traffic faces decline, slightly narrows in May, and you can see the foot traffic is in the negative territory. That's kind of surprising that they've been struggling for so long now. All right, what else we have is Micron. They released earnings not yesterday, but the previous day, and you can see there was a little spike. The story is with Micron is they beat expectations for the quarter. Everything's going well for the memory, particularly for high bandwidth memory used for AI data centers and systems. And so they also raised their forecast, but for whatever reason, the street had that baked in or something like that, and the stock did not really climb up any further. It basically went sideways. But on the contrary, chip stocks, AMD and NVIDIA, continued to climb. They had a hot week, I would say. AMD is up at 144, and NVIDIA is, I think, around 157 if I look it up right now as we speak. So yeah, that's surprising. Oh yeah, it's continuing search for NVIDIA. But for AMD, the problem we kind of hit a landmine with them. They were surged last week, and they continued to go up. Here we go. From the beginning of the week, they were at 120 something, 126 here, one-ish, and now they're at 144. Yeah, so they're taking off. we hit a landmine with our trading. So this week we opened a position. We sold 3 contracts at 112, strike price 140. And it went into the money, and on this one early in the week, and it's still going further into the money. And if the way it is right now, we would be at a loss for $931 and change. So there's nothing else to make a play on for today. And for AMD, I can wrap it up now, or I can let it go to expiration and see where it finishes. And I'm probably going to favor the latter, where we're just going to let go into expiration and see how much of a loss it is. Who knows, maybe it can dip. If it does dip, then it will have to dip all the way down to 141, around 141 for us to break even. But the way it's looking, I think we'll just be taking a loss on this one. AI's been hot, and well, it's been hot for a few stocks. It hasn't been hot for everybody. Particularly, surprisingly, hot is one thing, but the way the stock price has surged based on what facts and news is out there. It's really surprising for me for AMD. I mean, I talked about a little bit earlier this week about some analysts upping their price targets and maybe upgrading the stock, but there hasn't been anything really new other than the few weeks ago Oracle saying data centers the build out has been continued to be strong. But AMD and Nvidia announced their earnings, and both of them really didn't really go anywhere, and so they provided their latest quarter earnings and the forecast and all updates. So it's surprising all of a sudden the market decides certain stocks are worthy of such upward movement, and sometimes it's like that, but usually it's to anticipate something, or there's new news, and in this case I don't know, I don't feel like there's anything that substantial, but that's what the market is saying. So anyways, I'm going to stop rambling on about this and see where we finish out at the end of the week, and we'll do I think we'll just do a monthly recap. I know we have one day of trading in the month of June next week, but we'll lump that in with the next month, and for June we'll do our monthly recap after the market closes sometime this weekend. All right, well anyways, that's it for today. Hope you have a good day. Catch you next time.